Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Onyinye again. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Onyinye. Onyinye for short actually. My full name is Onyinye, and in my language that means a gift from God, which is why my channel name is Onyinye is a gift, because Onyinye literally means gifts. But it also implies that I'm a gift because I bring some deep and interesting, thoughts and opinions. And that is what I enjoy doing. This is going to be the first of my series of videos like this, where I talk about topics that I feel are important and interesting to me, and hopefully you guys like them too. So if you like this video, which you will, subscribe, like, comment, share, whatever. If you agree with what I say, comment. If you disagree, comment. I don't mind. I welcome all thoughts or opinions. This is not an argument. It's not an argument. It doesn't really matter what you think. Like, I'm not judging anybody for what they think or how they think, what they choose to believe. That is not me at all. That's not the point of this video. You probably know what the topic is already from the title. My main objective for today is just to sort of make you guys aware of some certain things, or a certain thing that I feel a lot of people don't pay attention to whenever they think about God, or the existence of God, who God is. Like, whenever I hear people talking about God, they keep missing out one thing, and I'm like, this is something people should consider. Like, I'm not trying to change your mind, but at least consider this one thing we're going to talk about. So basically, some people believe in God. Many people believe in God, but in different ways, based on their different religions, different cultures. They call it different names. In my language, God is Chineke, that's God that creates, or we call him Chuku or Chi. Different cultures have different ways they call him, different ways, they worship him, different religions. There's Christianity, Islam, different religions, but it's still God. It's still God you're talking about. But there are some people that don't believe in God at all. I've seen, some people, like, they make comments like, God is not real. What type of God destroys what he creates? What type of God would allow people suffer? What type of God lets bad things happen to good people? What type of God lets, children be orphans in terrible conditions? What type of God does all that? What type of God watches people pray and beg for help, beg for mercy, and he just leaves them? He doesn't help them. He doesn't come to their aid. What type of God does that? And those feelings are valid. I don't even think I can answer those questions. And I can understand why people feel that way, especially if you've gone through something really heartbreaking or something really traumatizing. It's hard to really believe in God and trust that he's there to protect you. If it sort of contradicts that idea with your reality. So I get why some people would say they don't believe in God, or there's like, they don't, even if there's God, they don't like him, that he's not a nice person. He's not a person, but yeah. Personally, I believe in God. I feel God's presence in my life every day. I love him. I worship him every single day. Every morning when I wake up, I thank God. I just love him so much. But that's not even the point. I'm not even trying to make you like that or convince you to, love God or think of him or care about him. That's really not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to sort of draw people's attention to the fact that if God exists, which to me he does, and you ask all these questions like, why would God do this, why would God do that? I just need people to understand that God is more than what you think. Because if he created the world, the universe, the stars, the moon, us, the animals, the trees, the breeze, if he created all that, do you think he'll be bound by human logic? Because human beings, we tend to think in a straightforward way, in a linear way, where like, this is what it should be, this is what it is. So in order for this to be this way, we need to do this. But God is all-knowing. He's said to be all-knowing, right? Said to know everything and be everywhere. So if we're talking about God, we're talking about somebody that knows what will happen like thousands of years in the future, knows what's happened before, what's current, he knows everything that's currently happening. So you cannot try to reason like God in a way we reason about our own lives. Like, God will not be bound by those our logic, would I say cognitive processes. God is not bound by that. He invented those things for us, but he's not like us. So I'm just saying, when people like make those arguments like, why would God do this, why would God do that, you need to keep it in mind that you probably would not understand. Even if God is real, if he was potentially a real, being, the way you're thinking about him will not be anywhere near how he actually is. Just keep that in mind. Like, he won't be the same. And another thing too I need people to consider is the fact that a lot of people judge God based on the things they think are right or things that should be. Like, they'll say, oh, why would God let somebody die? I just want to say, I can understand suffering, but for things like death, like why would God take away people? Is that necessarily a bad thing? And I mean, I'm Nigerian, African, in fact, and if my mom heard me, saying death is not a bad thing, she'll get so angry at me because we don't like speaking about death. We see it as a sort of taboo topic, like don't mention death because it's scary. But if you think about it deeply, if you let yourself think about it, is that really a bad thing? I mean, that is really a loss for you, but is it really a loss for the person who dies? Like, it's a loss for you because you don't get to be, you don't get to speak with them, be with them, enjoy their company anymore because, they're gone. And so that's a loss for you, right? But is it really a loss for them? Because you don't really know what happens to people when they die, and I doubt that they are suffering, honestly. I doubt that they are suffering, but I know you are because now you have to deal with the fact that they are no longer here. But sometimes I feel like when it comes to death, God takes away people because them leaving is supposed to have an impact. And I don't know how to explain this in a way that people would understand, but sometimes God is I can't even reason like God, like I'm struggling, but I feel like what I feel, if I were to try and understand, which I never will, then I would say that sometimes God could take away some people in our lives because death is a life-changing experience for everybody that is like affected by it. So sometimes God uses something extremely life-changing to direct you. If somebody was in your life, you would have gone in a completely different direction, so God takes them away. You can notice that with normal things like friendships, relationships. When God takes away those things from you, you can tell that your life sort of changes in a way. You start to think differently, you move into a different direction because of the death. You're moved to do something else. And I know some people like, but death is such a it's such a terrible thing. Like, why does God have to kill somebody? But that's the thing. I need people to sort of also understand that sometimes people actually just have to go. And it's sad, it's painful, it's hard to accept, but if people are willing to see death as a normal process, that because I feel like most people think death is so far from them, so when it comes here it's so much shock. If people had a more not welcoming attitude, no one should welcome death, but a more accepting attitude towards death, they will understand or be able to see the good side, which is very hard to see, but the reason, even though you might not see, but there'll be an understanding that it had happened for a reason. And it might be difficult, but that's just the truth. And I know a lot of people are also moved by their own, I would say selfish, but I don't think it's really selfish, but selfish is the only word I can use to describe it right now. So people are only moved by their selfish desires for what they want, their own desires for happiness, their own desires for success, why will you end somebody's life? Why will you end somebody's life? But when I think about life, I think about life in such a way that I've discovered that life is so meaningful yet so meaningless at the same time. Even when people die, we cry for them, we feel bad, we mourn for days, weeks, months, but in the end people still move on. And when you think about it, it also makes me sad because in the end, no matter how much people love you, they still forget you, right? So that makes me feel like, oh, life is meaningless, but I feel like it's meaningful because someone's existence at all can leave such a mark and such a heavy impact, on lives of people around them. that even when they go, even though you might feel like you've forgotten them, but they've changed your life in such a way that they've changed who you are. So the fact that they existed can never really change or be forgotten, if that makes sense. But since, most people are moved by their own selfish desires, they're only thinking about themselves. So now when they think about God, they're thinking, why did God do this for me? Why did God do this for them? But that type of thing, and they're thinking it should have been done for me, it should have been done for them. But I feel like God works in a way that he understands that we're all connected. And, it's like a network of people, like lives affecting lives, because the only thing that gives your life meaning is when you affect somebody else. Like, you only feel somebody's death when you felt their presence, their existence before, right? But most people think, about me, how I feel, my own happiness, my own success, my own prosperity. But I feel like God thinks about it like everyone is connected. So when something happens to somebody, that stuff is happening to somebody because of the other people that the person is connected to. So sometimes you might take somebody away to make an impact in the lives of those people that are connected to, those guys. What's my life thinking? But people need to understand that God is not, a straightforward, person. Like, he just doesn't think like we do. He's not thinking, do this for this person, do this for that person, do this person here, take this person here. He's not thinking that way. He isn't. He understands that we're all connected. He can see the future. He knows what is going to happen, what's going to change. So he sort of works with that. And these are things to consider if, you want to think about God. That's what I want you to know. If you're trying to think about God, then these are things I feel like you need to consider. I'm sure people would have so many opposing opinions and thoughts. Some people might think everything I said is complete rubbish. But that's just what I want people to consider when they think about God. Just consider these things. He's not bound by our own ways of thinking. He's not thinking about just one person. He's thinking about everybody at the same time. He's not trying to walk in one direction. He's impacting life so that your life can impact another person's life and that person can impact another person's life. So if you think about it, like, God is working in a network and he's doing all those things at once. Because some people deny the existence of God here. It's like, so are you trying to say we came from nothing? God just said, oh, let there be something, and there was something out of nothing. If God created us, who created God? These are serious questions that if you think about, you'll be like, yeah, why would there be God? But you need to understand that if there's God, you cannot think and understand his existence. You can't, because he's God and you're not. The Bible says we are made in his likeness. So we are not like him. We are not even near him. If he exists, we will not be anywhere near him. I'm still using it for the guys that, still don't believe in God. That's okay. But if he exists, we will be nowhere near him in thinking, If God created us, he created our imagination. So imagine the type of imagination and creativity he would have to create us as human beings that are already so imaginative and so creative. So I just want people to consider that, and also cut God some slack, really. I personally believe that God exists. He's loving, he's caring, and he's trying his best. But most people are only thinking like me, but they don't understand that it's a network of people, and he's trying to work in a way that he's doing everything all at once at the same time, not thinking about the future, thinking about the past and the present at the same time. So if you could honestly try to imagine that, you understand that it won't be easy. I feel like a lot of us also blame God for problems we made ourselves. Like, God created us, he gave us free will and said we should have dominion over the earth, and everything as humans. And a lot of the problems we have, a lot of the suffering, it's not God that caused it. We are the ones that did that. We are the ones that chose to destroy the environment, chose to be unkind to one another, promote poverty. Because I know poverty cannot just, go overnight, but there's so much more that we could do to help people by ourselves. I was back on. There's so many things we could do. There's so many things we could do to help others by ourselves, but we just choose not to do them because of our own selfishness. But then we call on God, like, God, you have to help me, you have to help me. But we don't even help ourselves. I just want people to sort of see, in many ways, we could also be, yeah. That's basically it for this video. Again, I'm not trying to convince anybody to believe in God. I'm just I'm just trying to make you understand some things that a lot of people might forget and they might not pay attention to. Personally, I believe in God. Believing in God has been working for me. Um, and I'm not leaving him anytime soon. I'm not doubting him anytime soon. I'm not forgetting him anytime soon. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I just pray that if anyone is watching this video and they are moved, or maybe before they never used to think about the existence of God, they just disregarded that fact, they never cared, that's okay. But if from this video you're moved to maybe think more about God's existence and you're curious about it, I just pray, Lord, that anybody who is willing or is curious enough to seek your face, Lord, I ask that you reveal yourself to them in whatever way you can, because I know that you may not reveal yourself to them in the way that they might expect, Lord. But I ask that if they are able to just call on you, Lord, they might not realize it, Lord, but if they can just think about you, Lord, just mention you, Lord, just say, God, this, in Jesus' name. Lord, just if they can call on you, Lord, do not hide your face away from them, Lord. Reveal yourself to them. It might not be in the way they expect, Lord, but let it be in a way that they realize that it is you, Lord. Thank you. So this is the end of my video. I hope you guys like my opinions. If you think I was talking rubbish, you can tell me that in the comment section. I still welcome those comments, so it doesn't really bother me. If you agree with what I say, if you think I'm making some sense, you can also say that in the comment section below. My light was misbehaving throughout the video, but I didn't let that distract me. I'm going to be making more videos like this. If you like this video, subscribe. No, yeah, subscribe, then like, then comment, then share. I'm promising that I would start posting a lot more, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.